From the Spectrum in Philadelphia, it's the NBA World Championship Series, a standing room only crowd on hand.
The crowd in Philadelphia so excited. The players came out and they were rather blasé after their win, Brent, but boy, they're ready to go now.
For Philadelphia, Erving, McGinnis, Jones, Bibby, and Collins. For Portland, Hollins, Davis, Walton, Gross, and Lucas. The story early will be George McGinnis. He has been in a horrendous slump throughout the playoffs. His dear friend Roger Brown sent here, as you see the officials, Richie Powers and Joe Gishue get it underway. McGinnis driving to the basket. Offensive foul is called. So right away, the troubles again mount for Big Mac.
Well, we can see that they're picking up where they left off on Sunday with these calls. So many offensive fouls in that ball game. First call of the game, offensive foul against McGinnis, and he was in foul trouble in game one.
Hollins goes to Maurice Lucas. Gross operating. They go to the open man, Johnny Davis, and the Blazers go up 2.
Something he didn't do in the first game. He did not shoot well. Right away, the guards are into it.
Bibby cut off from going all the way by Walton. Erving turns the corner. Walton challenges. We're tied.
Boy, you can't give the Doc the right side. Now watch this. Bob Gross plays him up. Doc takes the right side. He gets by him. Once he gets there, nobody stops him.
And Walton was there that time. The doctor out on Gross. Here's Davis. Doug Collins on him. Lucas down low. Inside pass to Gross. No, says Richie Power. 3-second violation. It'll go off on the side. And remember, the Trailblazers turned it over 34 times. That's the statistic that Jack Ramsey hopes to cut down tonight. Pressure at the midcourt line. Exactly what Philadelphia anticipated. Into McGinnis with that one-hander short. He is still off his game.
He just does not have any confidence at all in that jump shot.
Hollins gets in and dishes.
Lucas with a tough shot, Brent, off balance, floating to the left. He had to be right on the target with that one.
Against the pressure, Bibby gets it across. Hollins was there. Shot by Blazers right back down in the attack zone. Tied at 4. The opening moments, game 2 of the World Championship. Lucas is off. Davis regains it for the Blazers. He traveled.
Very fast pace right here. I know Portland does not want to get into that helter-skelter game we talked about. That will definitely be in the Sixers' advantage. They want to play a controlled running game.
Will Jones goes to Erving, who's 6. Gross expecting a lot of help tonight. Clear out right side. Erving comes up, scoops it up. One by McGinnis as he came back up, and there was a foul. Maurice Lucas was over there on George McGinnis. Ramsey up.
Well, here's the play right here. Ball comes off. McGinnis gets a little pump fake. Looks like he jumped into Lucas to me. I don't know how Maurice got called for that foul.
Maurice Lucas, one of 3 starters who fouled out in the first game Sunday. Lionel Hollins and Bobby Gross also fouled out. And yet the Blazers were there at the finish. 107-101.
Once again, offensive rebounds during the Sunday's game really hurt Portland. And here they gave up another offensive board, enabling McGinnis to get to the line on a questionable foul call.
What a horrible slump for George McGinnis. Can't even hit his free throws.
Bill Walton in the lane too soon.
Foul line violation.
Still, it won't go for Big Mac as the frustrations mount. Tied at 4. Gross is 30. Goes up on Julius outside and connects. Gross had 10 points in the first quarter on Sunday. If you're wondering who can come off Gene Shue's bench, it would be Steve Mix to relieve George McGinnis. And you can see they're keeping Philadelphia out away from the basket. Bibby now gets it. Davis with a hand on it. McGinnis went back up. I don't know whether or not. Yes, they're giving him credit for the basket. George McGinnis tied at 6. Hollins score the basket and draws the foul. A chance for a 3-point play. And Rick Barry, how important number 14 is to the Blazers tonight.
No question about it, Brent. There you see him making the move, picking up the foul by Henry Bibby down low. The ball goes in with a nice soft touch. He was not a factor in the first ball game, and he has been so instrumental in the success of this Portland team. As we pointed out so many times, he's the orchestrator. He's the man that runs things for them.
Davis coming out on Bibby that time. Through the foul.
It play here in the bottom left screen. Right there, you see, just outside of the picture, Davis was grabbing onto Henry Bibby. Richie Powers right on it. Good call.
The world's tallest ball handler, Caldwell Jones, sent it into Bibby. Here's Hollins, who had 30, wants his first shot.
Usually Doug Collins doesn't get his shot off like that. He tries to get himself open. Unusual to see it, but he's a great shooter.
Blazers with quick offensive pressure this time. And a miss as Jones came up over behind Maurice Lucas, and Lucas is called for his second foul.
That can be a very big factor. They need Maurice Lucas on the boards and scoring points for the team balance that's so important to the Portland victories all season long.
And Rick, he is such a clutch guy. In the last 2 minutes, if nothing else, you've got to have him out there. Foul call by the trail official. It's against Davis, his second. So we've got Davis with 2, Lucas with 2.
Here's George McGinnis on isolation. He'll get the ball. Now watch this silly foul coming up right there. There's the screen. Defensive man's got to talk to him to tell him the screen's there.
On the turnover, Davis comes back. Gross and Hollins go to their lanes. Sixers come with him on defense. Jump shot missed. Hollins and Gross battling him. Gross comes up with it on the great hustle. Hollins with a pass off of Davis's hand.
Boy, that's one of the situations when you must always expect a pass when you're on the basketball floor until the ball is in the air on its way to the basket. On that particular play, Davis was not looking. Hollins made a great play. It was an easy layup if Davis had been looking.
And 4 turnovers already for Jack Ramsey's Blazers. They were plagued throughout Sunday. Wound up with 34. Lucas goes with McGinnis, and here's Collins. Short and Erving with an offensive rebound. Knocked away beautifully by Lucas. Gross with the ball on the floor. It's 4-on-2. Davis traveled, couldn't control the ball.
There's another one of those costly turnovers. Portland still very erratic with the basketball. I don't know what the reason is for it at this particular juncture in the game.
Philly coach Gene Shue looking on. He closed practice again yesterday, as he did prior to game 1. Bibby. Philly.
There's a man that not many people have talked about. Henry Bibby has been very instrumental in Philadelphia's success all year. He's the ball handler, plays the tough defense, fine all-around player.
Collins 6'6", Davis 6'3". Lucas and Julius cleans up with the ball on the floor. He's a great ball handler. Collins, and it's the turnover now. It'll go back to Portland.
Double dribble by Doug Collins, but Philadelphia once again with a good breaking opportunity. Portland missing from the outside. Very interesting, Brent. Bill Walton has not been in the offense yet for Portland.
Davis goes right side. Let's see if they can get it to Walton. You can see them sag over there. Erving in front, Jones behind. Walton nodding that time. Lucas takes it himself short, only 1 shot. And again, Walton not in the offense. Erving! Back now come the Blazers. Hollins slows it up because Jack Ramsey wants a timeout, Rick Barry.
Yes, and he needs it. We'll see this fast break coming up. Bibby with a great bounce past the doctor when he gets ahead. Easy stuff shot. Right now, Philadelphia has their game going. Portland has got to settle down and get back into playing their type of basketball.
We'll have our isolated preview on Bill Walton in the upper left-handed corner. That's the scene the director looks at in the truck. We'll see as he gets the ball right away after that timeout. Waits for a cutter. It's Gross. Bobby stays right with it and came up left-handed, and Walton came back, hanging on the basket. Can't do that. It's a technical foul. Walton knew it. Powers called it.
Let's watch the play again. Here goes Bobby Gross. He's wide open. Hits that flange area. Nice hustle on the rebound. Look at Walton with a great time. He gets hit, forced to hang on the rim. That's an automatic technical foul, but it was still a great offensive follow-up by Bill Walton. As Doug Collins sinks the technical free throw.
Keep in mind that the basket counts in that situation. The technical comes after the basket is scored. So don't forget that. Making it 12-10, and we had a free throw made too. So it should be 13-10. Yes, now they change the scoreboard. 13-10 is the correct score. Walton's basket counts. Hollins fouled as he came inside, and he's hurt.
Yes,
Doug Collins is hurt.
You can see it right when he went up. He was off balance on that move.
Tremendous pain.
Push. 22nd entry timeout.
Oh, that is a big factor in this series. Doug Hollins on a super pass to Julius Erving, being double teamed by Gross and Walton, cutting baseline, and he turned it badly. And we'll see it on the replay, hopefully. Let's take a look. No question about it. Now watch Hollins. He'll go baseline. Great play, great pass. Now watch him step up. He's out of the frame. But he definitely turned his ankle when he went up to make the jump, and you can see him hopping around, and he is hurt badly.
Trainer Al Domenico is out there. Take one more look at it here.
Here we go again. We'll take a look. A great pass by Erving. Here he goes to step right there. Right there is when he turned funny. You can see him. He didn't get very good lift,
Rick.
and he hurt.
Doug Hollins is coming to the free throw line. Injuries plagued the beginning of his marvelous career when he was drafted out of Illinois State. There are two players tonight who are with their respective teams because of a coin flip involving Philadelphia and Portland. The first one, Bill Walton. Philadelphia lost the flip, and Walton wound up with Portland. The second, Doug Hollins. Portland lost that time, and Philadelphia was the winner. Dave Twardzik, 13, with his back to you, has checked in. Rebounds right now, Sixers 9 and Portland 4.
I'm sure that Portland's going to come down and test Collins' ankle right away. At least they would be smart to do that and just see how bad it is bothering him.
Lloyd Freed back in uniform. Injured a rib in a collision with Mike Newland during the Houston series. He says he's ready to play. Gross came underneath and the whistle blew. And Caldwell Jones picks up the foul as Gross was sliding baseline.
This is what the forwards have got to do, Brent. If the forward guarding the man with the ball is going to drop in on Bill Walton, he must go to the basket and force that man to play him. If the man doesn't get over in time, he's got a clear path. If not, he can reverse the ball back to Walton.
Rick, you pointed out what Jack Ramsey had to do, get Bill Walton involved. Now you have pointed out what Gene Shue is going to counter. He's got to come back with a defensive move for the Philadelphia 76ers. Back in the spectrum, Gene Shue and the Philadelphia 76ers closing out their huddle. Jack Ramsey will send the Blazers out. We are just underway in Game 2 of the NBA World Championship Series. Ramsey's Trailblazers find themselves behind 15-10 with 6 minutes and 41 seconds left in the first quarter against Dr. J and George McGinnis. Rick, you know, McMahon, Shue's assistant, asked a very good question of you. Have you ever seen a player who's as good as George McGinnis stay in a slump that is as prolonged as his is?
No, I really haven't, Brent. George is really in the throes of a tremendous slump, and he's just going to have to really work on himself mentally to try to get out there and do some other constructive things, and the shot will come back to him.
Walton handling the ball much more, drives, rolls the hook, and Lucas.
That's where Maurice Lucas is so valuable to this team, getting on those offensive boards to help Bill Walton. But they are getting Bill Walton involved in the offense, something that they weren't doing in the early stages of the game.
It's a 3-point difference. Collins, who twisted an ankle, but is still playing. Bibby working alongside. And the 76ers have turned it over. Let's watch this cleanup.
Here we'll see Bill Walton makes the fake, gets Jones to commit to his right, goes by him, makes the hook shot. You see Lucas, nobody's screening him off. When you don't do that to a big man, it's trouble.
Did you see Julius Erving fly across to help out as Lucas again responds? So the clutch man all season long has been number 20, and he is starting to rise to the occasion here. But remember, he already has 2 fouls for the Blazers, and he fouled out of the first game. Here is Erving, and you can see how they're sagging back on him. Twardzik, guarding Collins, fouled him. Twardzik had missed 5 straight games because of a twisted ankle, did not play at all in the sweep of the Los Angeles Lakers, played only briefly on Sunday, did not squeeze the trigger once. And an awesome responsibility when you're matched against Doug Collins.
No question about it, especially with the height advantage that Doug has over him, as Doug makes it for his 7th point of the ball game, and evidently he just twisted that pretty good, and he did not get a sprain. Very fortunate for the Sixers.
Hollins comes to the left. Gross. Erving with his arms up. Bibby comes in to help out. Into Walton. Jump shot over Jones. Bibby quickly applies heat and goes to the hoop. George McGinnis McGinnis and Lucas, and Maurice comes away on the move. Intercepted by the doctor. It's Erving and Walton. Off to Collins.
That's just a beautiful play by Julius Erving. You saw the play developing. Snuck in there to pick up the steal. Made the great pass by getting Walton to commit.
19-14, Philadelphia. Lucas, 3 significant backers.
There's the doctor with the steal. Look at that beautiful play, getting Walton committed.
What a first quarter Maurice Lucas is having for the Blazers. McGinnis goes to the doctor. Walton jumped over and Erving responded.
That's good basketball being played by both teams now. They're moving the ball very effectively, getting good shots at the basket. Both teams playing excellent.
It's a 5-point difference. 4 minutes and 31 seconds left in the first quarter. Goes out of bounds. Portland retains it.
Here's the last play. McGinnis goes, draws the people to him, dishes it back to the doc. The doctor sneaks it around Walton for 2.
Gross goes to Walton. Jones there. Jones fouled out guarding Big Bill. Turn around. Bibby calls the play for the Sixers. Dave Twardzik, the only substitute so far. Bibby takes it back on the move. Through the foul as he went up. 2 fouls against Twardzik. Ramsey will spend the entire game either on one knee or pacing in front of the Trailblazers bench.
Once again, free throws hurting the Portland Trailblazers right now. They've only attempted 1. I believe that's 11 free throws for the Sixers right now.
Into Walton it goes again. Waiting for a cutter. Drops it back to Gross, who beat Erving that time and couldn't put it away. McGinnis off with a pass. Has turned it over. He tried to force it through a man in a red jersey. Twardzik and Caldwell Jones came busting across and fouled Twardzik.
Jones, as you can see, is not too happy about it. Watch the play coming up. Here's Twardzik, goes up for the shot. Let's see if there's any contact underneath. That looked like a heck of a block to me. Actually, Dave Twardzik's arm hit Jones on the body after he took the shot. The foul, if anything at all, could have been with his body down low.
Doug Collins leading all scorers with 9. Lucas has 8 now for Portland. Erving 6 for Philadelphia. Walton 4 for Portland. Twardzik scores for the first time in this World Championship Series. 3:35, 23-20, Philly with the lead. Gross and Erving were contesting in the corner, and offensive foul is the call against the doctor. His first.
Players are really keyed up out here, Brent. They're playing very physical. The matchup of Lucas and McGinnis is a physical one, as is Gross and Erving now turning into a little more physical contest.
Walton hustling from side to side in the pivot. Waits for Gross, who traveled. Bobby Gross having some timing problems.
Yeah, it certainly looks that way. He's had difficulty with the basketball and going up for those little shots in close. He just doesn't have that timing down right.
Collins out on Collins. Coming up on Twardzik, and he travels.
That's not Doug Collins' game, Brent, as I pointed out earlier. He's not the type of player to try and take a man one-on-one. He usually moves without the ball, gets open, and then pops it in.
Collins is free. And Walton underneath with a big offensive tap.
That's just great timing. He did that with his left hand even.
That looks just a touch out of sync. And back comes Jones immediately to respond, and Steve Mixie is coming off Gene Shue's bench. He will be Shue's first substitute. Walton with the jump. And the loose ball foul underneath. Bobby Gross was going up to contest for it. And he picked up the foul. His first. Twardzik with 2, Davis with 2, Lucas with 2, and Gross with 1. Jones with 2 for Philadelphia. Timeout is called in the Spectrum. Jack McKinney, the Portland Portland assistant coach talking to Jack Ramsey. And a reminder that Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time, CBS Sports Spectacular will present the 55th annual Red Bluff Roundup Rodeo. Top Cowboys competing, and also the mixed doubles bowling championship. That's all coming your way Saturday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time on the CBS Sports Spectacular. And of course on Sunday, the scene shifts to Portland for Game 3 of this World Championship Series.
And you're looking at George McGinnis in the right part of your picture. He's really having a very difficult time trying to get his composure out there on the floor. It just seems that his big slump with the offense is really causing so many problems. He's not doing the rebounding or the other things that he does so well, and I know he's working hard at it, and I'm sure that all the Sixer fans are hoping that he gets out of it quickly, because they certainly can use him. It cannot be only a two-man show all the time if you expect to win, as evidenced by a very interesting statistic, Brent. Portland, during the playoffs, has only had one man ever score 30 points or more, and that was Lionel Hollins down in Los Angeles in Game 2. That shows you how they spread that scoring around and get everybody involved.
As the game began, I mentioned that an old friend of George McGinnis is here tonight, Roger Brown, formerly a teammate of George's with the Indiana Pacers back in their days of the ABA. He's trying to lift McGinnis' spirits because, well, I'll tell you, go back to a World Series and think about people like Gil Hodges and Orlando Cepeda and the prolonged slumps that they went through for the Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals, respectively. And now McGinnis will take a break. Steve Mix, his replacement, wearing number 50.
And Steve Mix played one well of a ball game for the Sixers on Sunday. They weren't quite sure how he would be able to play because he had twisted an ankle in practice, but he responded admirably. He was a big factor.
Caldwell Jones already to shake down 5 rebounds. Larry Steele, fine swingman out of Kentucky, has played more games in a Portland uniform than any player in their history on the floor. He will be operating at a forward with Hollins and Twardzik in the backcourt. It'll be Steele and Erving. Mix will take Lucas. Twardzik dishes, and there is a 3-second call, but that was not by one of the officials that time.
It was tipped out of bounds by Julius Erving, Brent.
You can hear the instructions from Richie Powers. No elbows. Lucas. Maurice again.
Maurice with good second effort that time. Got the doctor to commit himself on the pump fake. Was able to lay it in the basket over Jones.
10 points for Maurice Lucas in the first quarter. A minute and 50 seconds. 26-24. Philly by a field goal. Across the mix. Hollins has switched off on him. Goes back on Collins. Into the doctor. Walton challenges. Doctor tried to do one of his fancy acts and couldn't squeeze the trigger as well as he might.
You can't always fool Bill Walton, Brent.
Steele back to Walton with that jump shot. That's a good bounce. Bibby quickly to Erving. Score is tied. Minute 15 left in the first quarter. Twardzik on the double team, and Bibby is left alone. Mix with a big offensive rebound, and finally Lucas comes out of there, and there's a loose ball foul. It's on Mix, his first.
And that will not be the bonus. It's only the 4th team foul by the Sixers. Portland will take the ball out of bounds, and the reaction you heard from the crowd was they thought that Bill Walton, when he tried to block that shot, had hit the rim, and of course that would have been goaltending.
The Blazers have settled down, and let's give Dave Twardzik some credit. They had 5 quick turnovers, and now just 8, almost at the end of quarter 1. Hollins just committed another one. Offensive foul, and that is a turnover as he went crashing into Bibby. His second foul.
Let's credit Henry Bibby for making an excellent defensive move and getting in his way nicely.
Twardzik and Hollins await Hollins and Bibby. Mix, Erving, and Jones against Lucas, Walton, and Steele up front. Erving, outside jump shot. Back quickly comes Steele. Erving was complaining to the referee, and the Blazers almost burned him. Bibby collides with Walton. And down goes Bill Walton on the foul.
Well, there's a lot of action in this particular sequence. Let's see where we pick it up. As you see Bill Walton, he's upset with the play. Here's Bibby with the ball. He makes his move. There's Walton. He definitely moves into him. It was a good call by the official. The play that was a little questionable was when Steele went into the basket. It looked like he got hit on the arm on that layup attempt. And as Brent, as you pointed out, the reason he got open was the doctor was complaining to the official for the foul, and Steele was able to go right by him. Let's take a look at it earlier. Here you see he was able to get by him. Now he's coming in for the layup attempt right there. Looks like he got caught on the arm by Collins and he ran by.
Standing ovation as Lloyd Free comes back. His first appearance since the fractured rib and the collapsed lung. All-world number 21. And you can have a pool at home on how many seconds it'll be before he squeezes the trigger. Herman Gilliam, number 3, who scored 14 points on Sunday, also checks in for the Trailblazers.
Sixers have had a lot of opportunities at the foul line, but they're not shooting very well right now from the line.
They were devastating in the first half, as again they miss here in the first quarter. Final 30 seconds. Free takes Gilliam, who has been red hot ever since the Los Angeles series. Walton wants Jones. Taken off by Caldwell Jones. Off to Lloyd Free, who goes to Bibby. Mix from the right corner.
That's just good opportunity shot right there, getting the ball off the floor quickly before the defense gets set.
Time running out. His foot says Joker's shoe. So with 1 second, it'll go to Portland as it went off a Philadelphia sneaker.
Of course, it's less than 1 second to go. When it's on 1 second, it just may be 1/10 of a second. So whoever gets this ball has got to get it up as quickly as possible.
Maurice Lucas, did not get it off in time. As Rick Berry told you, just fractions of a second. So, Rick, we've come to the end of the first quarter.
Well, I think that the Sixers have a 5-point lead. They have to feel real good with the way they're playing right now.
A reminder on Saturday afternoon, the CBS Sports Spectacular, Gary Wells on a motorcycle will attempt to jump 21.5 cars. And here, Portland is attempting to jump over Dr. J, Julius Erving and the Philadelphia 76ers. Robin Jones has replaced Walton. Maurice Lucas off iron. And Bibby comes off on the fly. Dix breaking strongly to the right. Goaltending by Davis counted.
No question on that call. As we see the fine bounce pass, which is usually a good pass to throw in that situation, come in. There's the pin by Davis on the board. 2 points to Steve Mix and the Sixers. That's 7 straight points now for the Sixers since they've been tied at 26.
Mix takes Lucas. Caldwell Jones to Sean Robin. Erving now with Corky Calhoun. Herman Gilliam fires up one, and Calhoun with an offensive rebound. Here's Robin Jones.
He's not supposed to be a good shooter, Brent.
You wouldn't know it the way he's played in front of us during these playoffs. He's done everything right. He is a walk-on who made it in the NBA and was playing basketball in Europe last year. Calhoun will try the doctor. 3-second violation. So here come the Blazers on the turnover. And I'll tell you, Jones brought some enthusiasm into this fracas here as we get underway in the second quarter.
Good defense, too, by Corky Calhoun. Jack Ramsey trying to find someone to nullify Dr. J somewhat.
Back to Gilliam from Lucas. Sealed off, and Herman stays with it. Jones with an offensive rebound. And finally, it is Lloyd Free who gives it to Philadelphia. Coming past Gilliam. Lloyd Free extremely quick. Partially blocked.
They don't need that type of basketball right there. That's all individual one-on-one. They didn't move it at all.
Lucas left alone. Caldwell Jones rebounds. Lucas scored 10 in the first quarter. Calhoun stayed with that Erving move as he half slipped. Mix. Off Lucas's hands. And listen to the applause for Daryl Dawkins and Doug Collins as Henry Bibby with 5 assists in the first quarter goes out, and so too is Caldwell Jones. So the young man from Orlando, Florida, only 20 years old, just a baby and still growing, and a big favorite here in Philadelphia, is out there for the first time tonight. Collins off the bench, lights puts it up in the corner. 11 points for Hollins already.
What's that? Come on.
3 has Calhoun on the switch. Hollins against Gilliam underneath. Picks up the foul. Hollins' first foul.
I'll tell you something. Lloyd Free really took a shot to the face on that last screen by Robin Jones, and that's why he was lost and his man was wide open, but the foul was called on Collins for holding.
Jack Ramsey brings the Blazers over. We've got a timeout here in the Spectrum. Jack Madden is the alternate referee. 9:48 and slam dunk coming up at halftime. I see a beautiful woman, and I am reminded that Phyllis George will be back this year with the NFL Today. There has been some speculation. I saw Miss Phyllis out in Los Angeles. She feels fine. Recently married to Bob Evans, the movie producer. Off of Gilliam, who runs it down for Portland. 9:37 left second quarter. Calhoun from the corner. Dawkins yanks it down. Wants Erving. Erving came up on Calhoun. Across to Doug Collins, who flies baseline. Taken off by Lloyd Neal, 36. Davis, cross court, Gilliam. Walton back. He'll work with Neal and Calhoun up front. Off iron. Hollins with Lloyd Free on his left. Back to Hollins from Free.
Great pass by Lloyd Free. As soon as the ball touched his hand, he saw the opening and immediately got it back to Collins for the layup. Another break for the Sixers. That's something Portland has not been doing well this game.
George McGinnis will try it again. Getting ready to check in. Knocked back in is Lloyd Neal. He's working on that side. He had been an Iron Man until he suffered a couple of injuries with the Blazers. Is shooting right now with great confidence.
Yes, and Darryl Dawkins played well in Sunday's game. He's come in the game now. He's doing a very good job again.
Bobby Gross will be coming back for Ramsey. Calhoun. Walton maneuvering for position. His second foul as McGinnis, Hollins, and Gross report back.
That's not a good shot for the Portland Trailblazers. They do not need 25-foot jump shots from Corky Calhoun. They have not running their offense. They are not doing exactly what Jack Ramsey was afraid of. He wanted them to execute well offensively and defensively. They have yet to do that.
A man they miss is Maurice Lucas. Walton gives Philly but one shot attempt.
That's just turning around and giving it right back to Portland. Same type of bad shot.
Dawkins with Gross, and Gross fouled, and Gross protests. 10 turnovers for the Trailblazers and 9 for the 76ers. 7:39 left first half. Nix backs in on Gross. It's clear out for Steve on that side. Here's Davis again. Lionel Hollins with Mix flying at him, sunk one outside. 7-point Philadelphia lead. 7:11 left. Dawkins wheels. No basket. He traveled.
Let's see if we can pick it up here. Here's the pass coming into Dawkins. Let's watch his feet right now. Starts to make his move. Right there. He did walk with the ball, but it looked like Gross may have held him a little bit.
Walton on the jump turnaround. Gross has it knocked away by Dawkins. To Mix, it goes to Big George. McGinnis. And it goes in, turns a somersault. The hard way. McGinnis works for a field goal. Comes back, knocks it away from Hollins. Key defensive play as Big Mac comes alive. Inside pass for Free. So a basket, a steal, and an assist, and the Philly bench is alive. George McGinnis, with 6:30 to go in the first half, erupts with a flourish. 43-32 right now, Rick.
Yes, George the first play, coming in with a great shot, tremendous body control, soft touch, scores a hoop, and has given his team life.
There are a number of Portland Trailblazer fans who have traveled here from the great Northwest. They are standing and cheering their team, and of course, they received the Philadelphia ovation, which is a standing round of boos. Hollins came up on Dawkins, and Dawkins fouled it.
Darrell in his attempt to try and block that shot could not stop his momentum. And we'll take a look.
And speaking of Portland, it is all Rip City. That's the tag that the radio announcer, Bill Shulman, hung on that town that has gone wild over pro basketball, and we'll be there for Game 3 on Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time or 12:30 on the coast.
Right now, with this lead that the Sixers have of 9 points after that free throw by Hollins, they've gotten it mainly because they've been able to get break situations. They've scored 10 points on the break in this quarter to 0 for Portland.
McGinnis goes to Mix. Bats it to George, who drives for the basket again. He is alive and well. And Roger Brown might have been the difference. Hollins on 3. Loose ball, Gross retrieve. They go to Walton. McGinnis is there and cleans up. Scored 8 points, and McGinnis went again that time.
George getting a little carried away with himself there, Brent.
3 on 2. It's Davis off the kneel, and McGinnis came back and is called on the foul. He's flying from end to end right now.
Well, we're working hard out there, but he did get carried away in the last play. Here he comes, a good hustle getting back up the floor, goes up from behind his call for the foul. I couldn't see the contact, but he still is not hitting that outside shot, Brent. He wisely was going to the basket before, made a couple of baskets inside, still has not made the outside shot.
Henry Bibby, and you could see Walker, Wally Walker. 42 has checked in for Portland. Let me give you the lineups. Walton, Hollins, Walker, Neal, and Davis for Portland. Dawkins, Collins, McGinnis, Bibby, and Mix for Philadelphia. Lucas and Erving on the benches. And Lucas is the leading Portland scorer with 10 points. 5:29 left first half. Slam dunk at halftime. And Rick Barry will have extensive highlights. What a series this has been and is going to be. Game 3 Sunday in Portland. Davis dueling Bibby, trying to get inside. Collins shoots from the perimeter. Only one shot as Neal is off quickly to Davis. Here come the Blazers on the move. Their kind of basketball. Collins double thought, and Collins smashed into it. No foul is called. Mix comes inside, and offensive foul is called on Steve Mix, who was charging into Davis. But what a shot Lionel Hollins took that time from Doug Collins, who ran him down at the other end. Gilliam is in. Hollins will take a breather. Lucas is here.
Let's take a look. Now watch Hollins in the right part in your screen there as he gives it up. And he'll get in front of Collins. Now watch this shot he takes right there. Right in the jaw by Doug Collins. Official did not see it.
Davis and Gilliam, Lucas, Walton, and Walker. Doctor's back. House call.
Doctor has great anticipation on that play. And the Portland Trailblazers have been burned by it 3 times already in the last 2 games. They have to watch that pass from the forward back to the guard.
An 11-point lead. McGinnis popped out, and Lucas kept it inside on the turnover pass. 14 turnovers first half for Portland. McGinnis back at the corner. Rick, I'll tell you, he's made mistakes, but he is playing with confidence. Lucas has just picked up his 3rd foul.
Toughest call in the game to make for official. He is hot.
Portland cannot afford to lose the big forward. He's the enforcer. Dawkins. Davis. Gilliam and Bibby there on defense. Davis trying to get free with that great quickness.
Jack Ramsey really searching to find somebody to guard Julius Erving. Wally Walker coming in the game now.
The rookie from Virginia. Destroyed the ACC in their tournament last year. Bibby. Walton handles it. 47-38. Philadelphia. Walker's alone. Now Collins takes him. Dawkins with Walton. Walton and Dawkins takes it away on the block. Darryl Dawkins on the drive. Here's Bibby. It was Darryl Dawkins with a block who put it on the floor. He took it to the big redhead that time.
He sure did. That was just great effort by Darryl Dawkins, and Jack Ramsey wants a timeout. He has got to get his team settled down. They are playing Sixers-style basketball, and they will not beat the 76ers if they continue to play that way. So a very important 3:23 coming up for the Portland Trailblazers in this basketball game.
In his spare time, Darryl Dawkins is a disc jockey. Let's listen in on some of his jive.
Yeah, but like I say, this is the rockin' sockin' DJ, the big dog, here to talk, that loves to be your friend when you're grand. Love the rapping cap for a while, I'll be your friend as long as you smile. But loose, fancy, free, bad as I want to be. I love fast cars, a cool summer breeze, love when I want to and quick when I please.
Darryl Dawkins. And the foul is number 3 on McGinnis. What a favorite Dawkins has become already in this city. McGinnis getting a big ovation sitting down next to Jack McMahon. But he has finally shown some of that McGinnis spark. It is 49-38 and an 11-point Philly lead. Went to Walker and Mix came up and fouled him.
That will be the bonus situation. 5 team fouls now on the Sixers. Wally Walker, 2 opportunities, chance to cut the lead back under 10 points. It's at 11 right now.
On the CBS Sports Spectacular on Saturday, Rick, I just happen to think we got the rodeo, we got Gary Wells' motorcycle jump, we've got mixed doubles bowling. I'd love to see Darryl Dawkins try to ride a Brahma bull. Would he look great in a cowboy hat? And that's what's coming up. It is not Barry Wells. We'll get that corrected for you. It is Gary Wells, young man out of Houston, Texas. He's a great motorcycle jumper. Folks, Evel Knievel made his record missing. Gary Wells will do it making it. And you can see him Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular. 2:57 left. First half in the Spectrum. It's 49-39. Gilliam out on Collins, and here's the doctor. Shoveled it to Bibby. Lucas was there, and the inside man, Davis pushing. Ramsey and his assistant Jack McGinnis furious.
Well, it's a bad break for the Blazers there because Davis picking up the foul didn't realize he had great help coming from behind from Maurice Lucas. Here's the play here. The pass from the doctor into Bibby, makes the fake. He goes up in the air right there. Lucas was there to block the shot.
Bibby at the line. 51-39. Philadelphia leading the World Championship Series by a game. Game 3 Sunday in Portland. Dawkins and Erving with the ball on the floor. In the middle. Off to Bibby.
76ers are playing one well of a game in this first half, Brent. And Portland's going to have their work cut out for them to get back into it.
What a contrast of moods in the locker rooms prior to the game as Lucas comes up on Mix. And Mix looking for the man. Goes to Erving. Julius cuts inside with a body control.
You let the doctor get a running start at you, and it's virtually impossible to stop him. Take a look at this tremendous body control. Here he is, handling the ball super. He cuts across the lane. Right there. Nice soft touch.
Unbelievable. Dawkins has blocked it at the other end. Back comes Mix. Lucas off to Gilliam. Dawkins is back, and Bibby cuts off Gilliam. Lost it. Here's Dawkins on the turnover. The doctor waits. Lucas is there. Dawkins goes into Walton.
Call for walking before he ran into Bill Walton. Would have been an offensive foul had he not walked. But once again, you see the pace of this game, Brent. It's up and down the floor, up and down the floor, and that's not what Jack Ramsey wants his team to do.
We will isolate Bill Walton. Our director, Sandy Grossman, sitting now in the truck alongside the producer, Chuck Milton. They have a bank of about 5 monitors, and they pick out the shots that Rick Barry narrates when he comes back with the replays. So we'll keep a preview on Bill Walton. Culp, the Portland trainer, is with Herm Gilliam, who's gone off to the side. Dave Twardzik and Hollins have checked in. Ron Culp there with Herman.
Just like in the last game, Brent, the Portland guards being outplayed and outscored by the Sixers, 26-12 in points so far in this game.
Gross gives it to Dvorak. Gross with an offensive board and a second chance shot by Hollins. At the perimeter, Lionel Hollins makes it 41 for the Blazers.
Very impressed the way the Sixers are playing both offensively and defensively, Brent. They have only gone one-on-one in very rare situations.
Inside to Bibby, who came up on Walton through the foul. That is 3 fouls on Bill.
Unusual to see Bill Walton get suckered into this play. We see him right here on the isolation now. You see him come over, gets caught in the air by the fake by Bibby. A good move by Bibby, and Bill just got caught that time, leaving his feet.
Henry Bibby has scored 14 points and dished out 6 assists. So a former teammate of Bill Walton's at UCLA, and as Rick Barry pointed out earlier, he has done so many of the little things, and tonight, even the big thing. 57-41, inside of a minute in the first half. Slam dunk at halftime. Inside pass is pretty from Walton to Hollins.
That's the way Jack Ramsey wants them to execute.
I mentioned the contrast of the moods in the locker room. Philadelphia so loose, so relaxed. Portland uptight and grim. You never know what that translates into until the game starts. Sometimes teams that are grim can come out and explode because Portland realizes that once a team goes up 2 games in a World Championship Series, it is a tremendous road back. Dawkins ran it down in the corner. Knocked away, and Dawkins regains it. Mix glides inside and uses glass. Hollins back quickly for the minute red. Goes to the hoop and off to Dvorak again. Bibby. With time running out, it's the doctor. And it has been some show in the first half. The millionaires, the talented men have done it all in the first half in Philadelphia. But let me remind everyone that I have seen these talented, rich athletes so awfully cold in a hurry.
As Dr. J dunks another one, we can see that the Sixers are ready to go. Portland will be back, though.
Set to begin the second half with the Portland Trailblazers and the Philadelphia 76ers. And Rick Barry, we can take a look at some of the numbers and look at the way the 76ers shot from the field.
Well, you can shoot 55%, Brent, when you get so many opportunities off the break. They were able to convert 9 of 10 break opportunities for 18 points in the second quarter alone, and you're going to have that type of statistic. The big thing right now is Portland's got to come down, try to play their game, not try to get back the points too quickly. Philadelphia, meanwhile, cannot get complacent, as they've been known to do in the past.
Portland moving left to right, and it is Lucas looking in at Walton. Caldwell Jones. Hollins with the first shot was short. Back now come the Sixers. Erving was wide open, and they didn't pick him up that time. Bibby goes to McGinnis. Turnover, and here comes Lucas off now to Hollins.
I got it here.
Here's Lucas outside. That's the first. 61-45.
16 points seems like a lot, but in NBA action, 16 points can disappear very quickly.
2 years ago, it was the men from Golden State who made them disappear in a hurry 4 straight times against Washington. Erving on the alley-oop pass.
You should see the look of frustration on Bobby Grove's face. He just put his hands apart like, what can I do?
Lucas again. And Jones gives Portland just 1 shot. Bibby with 15 first half points. Wanted McGinnis, bounced right back to him. Hollins reached in and knocked it away. Hollins with control, checking right. Here's Lucas. Walton inside with a jump hook. Gets it right back and goes up with a jump shot. 0 for 2 quickly. McGinnis off to Bibby, who's got Collins on the wing. McGinnis was coming through, and Hollins got another hand on it. Quick hands. Hollins goes all the way the other end. Came up on Caldwell Jones for the field goal.
Good play by Lionel Hollins, making the steal, taking it in, and bringing it right at the big man, Caldwell Jones.
Lucas with 12, and Hollins with 12, leading the Blazers. Davis Davis on the steal. Took it away from Bibby and goes in.
Well, he really exploded. I would never believe that he could dribble the ball and break away from Henry Bibby.
Jones ball handling, bringing up against any of the pressure that Jack Ramsey may want in that backcourt, as he did in game one. Ramsey has sort of palmed it off. Oh, Jones rolled up a beautiful hook shot. And Erving on the interception comes in on Lucas and pops one off the glass. Hollins goes left to Davis. Here's Gross. 65-51 and 9:28 left in the third.
Portland now playing that controlled running game. This is what they like to do. Get it up with a good opportunity shot. Don't run wild. Philadelphia, meanwhile, Brent, once again, look how far out they are on their offense.
Erving outside. Hollins got a hand on it, but Lucas picks up for Portland. Here's Davis again.
Once again, under control.
Davis outside. Jones gives them one shot, and that time Walton was not completely set down in the pivot. Hit by Gross. Hollins tries to get at it. It'll go to Philly. Gene Shue unhappy as he comes up with protest. Got a timeout. McGinnis leads Philadelphia over to the sideline. 8:51, and Portland showing some life in Philadelphia. For the Portland Trailblazers, Philadelphia has been a tough town to play in. They have not won a game in Philadelphia since March 20th, 1974. That's 7 straight losses, including game 1 of this World Championship Series. Jack McCloskey then was the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers. He now one of the assistants for Jerry West with the Los Angeles Lakers. Jack Ramsey, of course, grew up in Philadelphia, head coach at St. Joseph's, went to the Buffalo Braves after being the head man here at the 76ers, trying to snap that jinx tonight. To the doctor on the left, it's wide open. He elects to shoot it outside this time. McGinnis for an offensive rebound. Went to Caldwell, and there was a 3-second violation by Jones.
Julius Erving, you see in your pictures, really complaining to Joe Shue. He's felt he's gotten hit on the last 3 opportunities that he's trying to go to the basket, and no foul has been called.
14-point difference. McGinnis taking Walton in this particular sequence. Hollins on Davis, and Lucas rolls on Jones to the basket. That's 14 for Maurice.
They've cut that lead from 18 to 12.
Bibby on the right side to Collins, and Hollins with a hand, and right to Doug Collins with the pass from Walton, and Dougie made him pay.
Great play by Lionel Hollins, but Bill Walton was not able to get it to his man.
McGinnis. Walton left alone on the Gross cleanup of the offensive end. Lucas complaining that he was fouled. And Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular, Gary Wells will attempt to jump 21.5 cars on a motorcycle. He probably is the best motorcycle jumper in the United States today. Back to Jones. Eludes him, ran it down in the corner, and a holding foul is called by Joe Shue. For Gross, his second. Steve Mix reports back in with George McGinnis going out.
Once again, Brent, Philadelphia is doing everything from the outside. They're starting their offense very high. They're really not executing the way they did in that first half. This happens so often.
Hollins, baseline. Give it to him on the goaltending call. Walton saying, I got a whole ball.
Well, I saw his hand go into the rim, Brent. It was a good call by the officials.
Lucas. Gross goes to Hollins, who comes up on Bibby. Out of bounds, and Rick, I've just been handed this report from CBS News. The Dutch government, as we've had a technical foul called here, Hollins protesting, they'll shoot it. But let me get right to this bullet. The Dutch government has just announced the school children being held by the South Moluccan terrorists have been released by their captors. Now again, the children have been released. They were held in that school building for 4 days by the gunmen. They were freed before dawn, and they were taken to hospitals for emergency treatment. Many are suffering from stomach infections. The terrorists are still holding 6 teachers in the school. But again, the school children have been released, and according to this bulletin from CBS News, there was no gunfire at the time. The 6 teachers are still being held. We'll keep you up to date here on CBS. And what good news and encouraging news that is. Jones went up and there was a foul as he came to the basket that time. Gross with his 3rd and 2 quickly.
As Philadelphia calls the timeout, Portland Trailblazers, as see Maurice Lucas going to the bench, are still going to have to work deliberately, try to play their game. They have plenty of time left to get back into it.
Gary Wells makes that jump, and Fitz Dixon, the billionaire owner of the Philadelphia 76ers on the right, will probably buy a piece of him. Don't miss that on Saturday afternoon. 21 and a half cars. I got to tune in and see what a half car looks like. 6 minutes and 49 seconds left. It's 70-55. I think that's one that's left over from Evel Knievel's last jump.
Yeah, I think he cut one in half when he fell on top of it.
Caldwell Jones buries the free throw. You know, we've talked about Henry Bibby, and of course, he's done more than just the little things tonight, Rick Barry. Now, here's a guy, number 11, who's done some of the little things for Philadelphia.
And he has a great attitude, too. He is not the least bit upset about the way that the crowd reacts to Darryl Dawkins when they come in the game. He said he's just happy to have Darryl on his team rather than another.
Out of bounds, Portland retains possession.
Watch Maurice Lucas here as he tries to go to the basket. Watch the contact by Steve Mix trying to get in his way.
Walton came up with the shot and drew the Jones foul. Jones 3rd. He fouled out in game 1 on Sunday. And don't forget game 3, Sunday afternoon on CBS, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Right after a broadcast I think all of you will enjoy. A Rackets showdown, the World Rackets Championship. You'll see Bjorn Borg. You'll see champions from squash, racquetball, ping pong. The rules are that you cannot play in your specialty, and that's prior to Game 3 of the NBA Championship. Here in Game 2, 72-56. Philadelphia in command. Davis with Bibby. Lucas on Mix.
Davis pulled up a little too early on that one, Brent. He had a chance to take it a little bit deeper.
Quickly to Mix. Doctor alone on the left side, goes back to Mix, and Walton was there to meet the challenge. Mix came back on Hollins, and there is a loose ball foul. Walton is there. It's on Mix.
Only the 2nd team foul. That's 4 personals, though, on Steve Mix.
George McGinnis returns.
You saw Bill Walton in your screen if you're watching give a signal like move with his hands going round and round in the circle. He wants the team, as you see it again, he wants the team to get the ball in, move around, execute their offense.
Get up!
Davis goes against Doug Collins, and McGinnis yanks it free, wants Bibby, and Hollins with a hand, but Jones is there.
Well, I used to think the doctor could get up, but Caldwell Jones was no slouch on that one.
7-foot spaceman from Albany State. Traveling. Portland turns it over.
There's the play again as George McGinnis gets a good rebound, pitches it out. Hollins with a good play. Unfortunately for them, Caldwell Jones is right there. Look at him fly. His head is almost up by the rim.
5:21 left 3rd. Dave Fortune working against Bibby. Davis out. Here's the doctor on a clear out right side. Lucas is there to help out. Fortune is drawn over, and on the turnaround he buries it.
Gross played good defense. Doc just made a tough shot over him.
76-56. A 20-point Philadelphia lead.
Sixers, excuse me, Brent, the Sixers right now are just really outplaying Portland.
Walton comes up jumping on Jones.
You can bet one thing, though, they're not about to give up. Not with 4:39 to go in this quarter and still one more to go. They've come back from more deficits than this.
Jones out high. Hollins very quickly in his corner. Walton frees to Twardzik. Gross on the fly. Collins back. Gross comes inside and drew the foul.
Good hustle that time by Doug Collins trying to get down. He almost got away with it, but he just happened to catch Gross on the leg when he went up for the shot. One of the few opportunities that Portland has had off a break situation, though.
At the line, shooting.
One thing, Brendan, George McGinnis' last shot, if you noticed, it's like everybody in this building who's rooting for the Sixers was pulling for George to make that outside jump shot. They're dying right along with him every time he shoots that ball. Great credit to the fans.
He has handled the pressures of the arrival of Julius Erving as well as any star athlete I have ever been around. You talk about a lack of jealousy between a couple of superstars. McGinnis and Erving are the epitome, no matter what you have read or heard. They get along extremely well off the court. Shot clock on the right-hand corner. Doctor goes to Bibby with Twardzik flying across. And it's on McGinnis, pushing off his fourth. So Steve Mix on the sideline with 4 fouls, and McGinnis with 4 fouls, and that power forward could be a problem because you need a strong man when you're working against Maurice Lucas.
They may bring Darryl Dawkins in for that situation.
Very well, could go to 2 centers. Gross pops the jumper.
That was good execution by Portland. They ran their play, they popped the man open, got a good opportunity shot.
Down by 20. Portland has run off 3 quick. So Philadelphia will talk it over with assistant coach Jack McMahon and Gene Shue and see if they can regain some of that Philly magic. And in Portland, the Trailblazers have won 15 straight games, and you'll see if they can make it 16 Sunday afternoon in Game 3. 12:30 start out on the West Coast, 3:30 in New York, 2:30 in Chicago, and I guess that makes it 1:30 in Big Timber, Montana, right, Rick?
What time's it on in Hawaii?
I hope they don't show a tape delay out there. 3:25, 76-62. Jump pass to Jones, who shovels McGinnis. Collins.
Doug Collins, who has not been heard from much in this second half, has responded right now.
20 total.
Up to 20.
Collins goes down. Erving frees to Bibby. Gross there. Twardzik also. Bibby muscles Moitz McGinnis.
Well, there's a lot of bodies laying on the floor, but I haven't heard a foul called yet. Let's watch this body here as we watch Lionel Hollins making his move to the left. Watch this screen by Gross. That could have been a foul. Then the trip. That could have been a foul. Boy, they're letting a lot go out there, Brent.
Up and knocked away by Philly as Lloyd Free re-enters the game.
To bear down a little bit on those calls, right? You start letting those type of screens go and tripping plays, and somebody's going to lose their temper, and I hate to see that happen.
Jones and Walton jump. Free and Bibby will work in Gene Shue's backcourt. Off to the doctor, and the men in red drop back very quickly. They don't want number 6 roaming free on either side. Moving alertly to that baseline. Inside pass by Erving to Jones. And as Jones made his move, he was pushed by Walton. Walton's 4th foul.
Well, if Bill Walton picks up that 5th one, Portland is going to be in serious trouble.
Walton with 13 points. Scored 28 Sunday. Joe Bryant prepares to check in for Shoe. 3. McGinnis and Jones, and McGinnis came up with it. Short. Walton off. They have pressured Walton under the glass. Lucas. Jones cleans up. He has been strong at both ends. Bibby up on Twardzik, and Twardzik met the challenge and got it off. Bibby wanted the foul. Hollins quickly to Gross. Off to Walton, back to Gross, and the doctor anticipated the pass. Stepped into the lane and got a hand. Bibby back now to McGinnis. Here is Lloyd Free moving to Bibby, who gets inside Twardzik.
The doctor did not get out of the lane when Bibby had the ball. I mean, he made the pump fake and had to delay a little bit. The doctor got called for 3 seconds, but so much credit has to be given as Jack Ramsey looks on to the Philadelphia team, the way they're hustling on defense. It's an example by Julius getting down the floor to break that play up as he comes out for a rest.
Free, Bibby, McGinnis, Joe Bryant, 23. Caldwell Jones, 11 for Philly. Robin Jones has replaced Bill Walton. Lucas up on McGinnis is short. Knocked away by Lucas, who was hustling back in. 1:16 left in the third. 80-62. Last couple of hoops have been scored by Philly. Taking their time, and finally Bryant at the perimeter. Strong rebound, Lucas. Outlet Gross. Gross makes his move.
Nice move by Bobby Gross.
Gross with 10 points, 8 of them in the second half. Lucas with 14, 10 in the first half. McGinnis crashed into Lucas. Offense. That is 5 fouls on George McGinnis, who was out of control, and Steve Mix checks back in. He will come back with 4.
Very difficult to try to get to the basket from that far outside, especially the way Portland plays team defense. Once they saw McGinnis put it on the floor, they just collapsed in the middle. He had no place to go.
Time remaining, third quarter. Robin Jones out for the pick. Hollins went firing a little too far outside. Off the free comes the pass. Watch Jones, who runs it down in the corner, and here's Joe Bryant. He is not shy.
That's for sure.
Hollins. Bryant cleans it off with plenty of time. I don't know why Hollins went for the desperation. Jones to the basket. Foul called.
There's no time showing on the clock, but Caldwell Jones will go to the foul line.
Hollins must have misread the clock, Rick, when he came up for Portland. That's all I can think of.
No question about it. He didn't realize how much time was left. He thought the clock was running down, and that miscalculation has cost the Blazers a possible 2 points as Jones goes to the line to shoot 2 shots only. No bonus.
Shooting for his 10th point. Scored 9-6 here in the third quarter. Rebounds, Walton 14, and Jones holding his own with 13. Caldwell, one of 7 boys, and he had a brother by the name of Major Jones, who was cut by the Portland Trailblazers. Easy to laugh and joke when you're winning, Rick Barry.
No question about that.
Lloyd Free coming up on Lionel Hollins. 12 minutes for Portland to get back in this. Twardzik goes with Bibby. Lloyd Neal with Mix. Robin Jones takes Caldwell Jones, and Larry Steele will go with Joe Bryant. Bryant comes up, hits the side of the glass, and Steele off quickly. Twardzik, the middle man, is left alone. Bibby gambled on the pass, and Twardzik just kept on moving.
Good heads-up play by Twardzik on that. When he saw the opportunity to develop, took advantage of it.
Collins, Dawkins, and Erving set to check back in for Gene Shue. Lloyd Free. Robin Jones with the rebound. Off to Hollins, 81-66. Larry Steele maneuvering, he traveled.
And another one of those turnovers flares that have plagued Portland in this series so far.
22 tonight, Rick, 34 on Sunday. And the big young man from Orlando, Florida, Daryl Dawkins, who would be, I guess, just a junior, sophomore in college, had he elected to go that route.
The Orlando people honored him before the game also with a presentation.
With Hollins, and he has traveled and turned it over to Portland.
Bill Walton getting a long rest right now.
Steal as Erving came out. Lloyd Neal hustling in the corner. They ruled that Hollins touched it last. All of those sideline officials disagree with Richie Howard's official version. And batted away by Dawkins, and Ramsey furious at the lack of a call. Free brought it to the basket and drew the foul at the other end, and Ramsey can't believe that there was no call down here.
There's the play right there. Dawkins going. He may have had a little reason to complain. Looked like that ball was on its downward flight to the basket. The rule, of course, being you must get it on its upward path to the hoop. Jack Ramsey still a little upset over that lack of a call.
Now 22nd injury timeout. Al Domenico, Philadelphia trainer, out tending to Lloyd Free, who is returning after suffering a hairline fracture of a rib on his right side, partially collapsed lung.
No question he's playing in pain, Brent. When you do have a cracked rib, it just does not heal that quickly. His lung, of course, is back in shape. He's had a long layoff, but he mentioned before the game that when he moves certain ways, the rib certainly affects him.
Rick, an interesting team personality. I know that people around the country have read a lot of stories about Philadelphia and Black Sunday and everything that has gone on with his team, and yet when you hang around him and you're around in the locker room, you'd never know that anything is wrong. They're a delightful group of athletes. They're always joking amongst themselves. They're not affected by it.
And Brent, you don't get this far playing the championship series if you don't play some kind of team basketball. They just have a tendency to stray away from it at times.
Warczyk swinging to the left, and look at Dawkins out there on the switch. Went to the screen by Jones. Dawkins just couldn't stay with that quick guard. Bibby will be set to check back in right after this timeout.
And Jack Ramsey still looking at that time, still trying to figure out what it is he can tell his players to get them back into their type of basketball.
And also on the CBS Sports Spectacular, Gary Wells' motorcycle jump. 10 minutes, 82-68. Portland goes to full court pressure. Collins breaks free. Goaltending. 22 for Doug Collins, who has scored in every quarter that we've played in this championship series so far. Collins up over Bibby. Bill Walton still on Jack Ramsey's bench.
I think he wants to see if they can get back in the ballgame. If they can, I'm sure he's going to bring him in.
Robin Jones chasing the big young man, Daryl Dawkins. Across the mix. Steele will try Erving. Jump pass to Dawkins on the turnaround. Pretty shot.
And that was a tough shot, too. A turnaround, fadeaway jump shot off the glass.
Just 20 years old. How can that be? Hollins. Lloyd Neal. The offensive end. Robin Jones blocked Dawkins. Off Bibby. Hits the doctor. Warczyk stays with Doc. Off to Collins. It has been a different Philadelphia attack. They've cut off the easy baskets for Julius, but other men now have popped up.
They're moving the ball fantastic, and Jack Ramsey's forced to call another timeout to try to stop this momentum. Otherwise, this team will be hopelessly behind. As it is now, it's a very difficult situation, but Philadelphia must be given all the credit in the world. They are playing the best basketball I've seen them play so far this year on both ends.
The most fashionable T-shirt in all of Philadelphia. 8:40 to go. 88-70. Sixers over the Blazers. Jack Ramsey can wait no longer. Bill Walton is back. And a great pass to Neal as he comes off the bench.
Time is running out. They have to try and get the points on the board, get to that foul line, and of course they must play the tough defense. Philadelphia is scoring almost at will.
Lucas on Erving, and Lucas hand checking him, and Julius trying to push him off now. Dawkins goes to the jump shot. Neal off for the minute lead with 8 minutes left. Game 3 Sunday in Portland, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Walton with a big offensive rebound, rolls the hook shot in. A pass, an offensive rebound, and 2 points. 14-point difference.
That was the 17th offensive rebound for Portland, one area they've really improved on.
Erving was moving baseline. Lucas called for the foul. That's Lucas's fourth.
Lucas upset. Let's watch him here on the doctor. The doctor makes a spin move, a little push off, a little push with the hand right there low. That's the foul.
Lucas wants him to challenge him. Lucas wants the doctor. The doctor comes up and Neal takes it off, and Lucas throws an elbow at the doctor. So it is heating up with Maurice Lucas here. Davis was coming down the baseline, and Ritchie right now has got the foul on Nix, his fifth. McGinnis with 5, and Ritchie had a word for Lucas.
Let's watch the play. He did a good defensive job. Here's the play right there. He tried to get him with the elbow. Fortunately for Doc, he missed down the other end. I think Steve Mix was playing a little bit of the sergeant role out there. He was not about to let Lucas intimidate the doctor, and he's going to say, hey, pal, you want to play that way? I can play that way, too.
Jack Ramsey is taking a very intelligent 20-second injury timeout. He went out with Ron Culp. He'd been in, and he said, listen, Maurice, let us not lose our cool right now. Even if we're down 2, we're going to Portland. Let's keep our head and not let things get out of control. And Ramsey was right there. He recognized what was happening.
Richie Powers on top of him, too. I heard him say distinctly to Lucas, let's watch it or you're out of here.
That was a catch-all first.
Nixon's fifth foul goes off to the side. There and McGinnis will try it. Dawkins switched off on Lucas on the turnover. It's McGinnis. 7 minutes and 20 seconds left. 88-74. Neal takes McGinnis. Dawkins just jumped a little too quickly. Stolen by Erving. Coming up on Walton. Off to Dawkins. To the hoop. Hollins was there. And it is Hollins' fourth foul.
Once again, the doctor anticipating well. He's been doing that a lot, both in the backcourt and up in the offensive end of the floor for Portland. And they're going to have to look out for the doctor playing back and laying back there like a cat waiting for his prey.
Like Bill Russell or Will Chamberlain waited for their prey, right, Arbery?
Underneath the basket, that's for sure.
What was it Jack McMahon said? You'd go on Bill Russell and you'd make 3 in a row, challenge him, and then it'd come money time with the same play, and up he'd go and swat it away. Speaking of Russell, since he has left at Seattle, what a change that team has undergone. They traded Tommy Burleson the other day. They'll go with Marvin Webster. Denver, a lot of changes. Jump hook by Walton. 6:49, 89-76.
This offseason, there are going to be a lot more changes also. It's going to be very interesting to see what transpires in the NBA in the offseason. But right now, it's very interesting what's going on here.
Hollins came inside. And McGinnis and Lloyd Neal are pushing each other. McGinnis and Neal want each other. Hollins steps in on McGinnis. Lucas comes over, and McGinnis goes Neal, and Neal is there. Ramsey is out. Dawkins on George.
McGinnis having a few words now with Maurice Lucas, and they weren't even involved in this altercation. I tell you one thing, Fred, there was a lot of physical contact going on in this game, a lot of things that weren't called, and this is a direct result of what can happen in that situation. You cannot maintain your composure in a game with this much importance when you're getting beat on all the time. They got to get on top of these fouls. They can't allow this to happen, especially with the muscle men you have on both of these teams.
5 fouls on Lionel Hollins. 4th team foul on the Blazers. 6:33. 13-point lead by Philadelphia as Doug Hollins has scored 24 points. Walton with 17 for Portland.
I will say one thing. Next time somebody does something the least little bit wrong for physical nature, I wouldn't be surprised to see Richie get rid of someone.
.631. Walton goes into Davis, who loses control on the turnover, number 26.
So the same things that have plagued Portland in the first game are plaguing them again here. Plus, the Sixers are playing better basketball than they played on Sunday.
And you know, Portland has 18 offensive rebounds to Philadelphia's 6. They have absolutely devastated at the offensive glass. Erving hitting outside, but Philadelphia shot so well for Gene Shue in the first half.
That's because they got all those breaks.
Lucas trying to ram one in. Doctor following him long past to McGinnis.
Jack Ramsey again calling timeout.
All right, Rick, let's see what they can do with Herm Gilliam, Lionel Hollins, Maurice Lucas, Bob Gross, and Bill Walton. There's Henry Bibby, George McGinnis, Daryl Dawkins, and Gross breaks free and didn't put it away and took a hard fall. Dawkins off to the doctor, and McGinnis runs the loose ball down. Gross comes back. Hollins also was slightly shaken up, but he's right back. Twisted an ankle in the first quarter. It did not affect him that much. Off to Dawkins, who came up into Gross. Foul called as Bobby met him. 4 fouls on Gross. And it was on Sunday that young Daryl Dawkins made probably the 3 biggest free throws of his 2-year career with the 76ers when the game was at stake. Rick, somebody else who has not received enough credit happens to be Gene Shue, the man who couldn't win no matter what happened to Philadelphia this year, because everyone said he should walk away with everything. So even if they win it, he's not going to get his just due. That man had everything to lose, and again's another guy who has not lost his cool, at least not around me.
No question about it. Gene's a very knowledgeable man when it comes to the game of basketball. He was put in a very difficult situation, as you pointed out, Frank, but I think he's gotten his team to respond well so far in this championship series.
5-12. Erving. It goes to Philadelphia. What a magnificent clutch performer Julius Erving is. Bibby to the left will come up firing on Gross. Missed everything. Dawkins hustling back. Gilliam inside. Dawkins just yanks Gross down to the ground and jumps back up. And Ramsey's out on Dawkins, and Richie Powers is pushing Ramsey away. And now Daryl Dawkins and Maurice Lucas. Somebody do something. It's Dawkins and Lucas. Dawkins and Lucas. Jack Ramsey pushing Dawkins. And now they pull Lucas back. Ramsey is out there. They've got Lucas controlled. Now there's a fan out there. Jack McKinney and a fan. Assistant coach Jack McKinney. Zinkoff trying to restore order here in Philadelphia. They've got to get the fans off. That's the first thing they've got to do, is get the fans off the floor.
Daryl Dawkins actually got Doug Collins in the eye. As you see him being attended, and he is bleeding. He's probably going to need some stitches, punched by his own man.
I see the blood on the towel, no doubt about it, that Domenico has. And now something's going on over there with some fans. Security police pushing him back. It's a fan over there in a red jersey. That is not a Portland player pushed away. We got to see how this started. Let's get back and see how it started.
All right, here we go right now. We're back on the court live again as things are still breaking out here, and they're trying to get order restored on the court. I hate to see this type of thing happen, and the fans have just got to stay in the stands where they belong. It's no business going out in the court. It's bad enough trying to control things. trying to control things with the players, let alone having the fans out there.
Here comes Dougie Collins.
Doctor's doing the smartest thing. He's doing the smartest thing of anybody, Brent. He's sitting down and getting out of the way and resting. Shows you how cool he can be under pressure.
Gene Shue out. Telling Mix to come back.
Dawkins has been thrown out of the game, Brent.
Now let's go back and take a look. Here's a replay.
Here we go. We're coming down on the play right now. Now watch Dawkins and Gross right here. Comes, he kind of muscles him out. The shot's going to go up right now by Gilliam. They're going for the rebound. Dawkins up for it. Gross goes for it. They get the ball. He comes right now, and as if he's fighting for the ball, trying to take it away. Flips Gross to the floor. It was nothing intentional, just good hustle on Dawkins' part. Now let's watch what happens if we can run it forward.
We will see it. We are going to see it, but we want to make sure that order is restored here in the Spectrum. And then we'll go back. Joe Gashue talking to Gene Shue. As Rick Barry told you, Dawkins is out. There's still a problem at the Portland bench.
All right, we'll run it through right now. Here we go with the play. We'll see Dawkins throw Gross down on the floor. People will step in to try and get in their way. They're a little upset. Now watch Dawkins. Now watch what Dawkins does. Somebody blocks the screen. Here he comes, right there. He throws the punch, and you saw Collins fall out of your picture. Darryl Dawkins losing his composure out there and hurting his own man as he squares off with Maurice Lucas. And boy, it's tough to try and get in their way. But fortunately, the players are wise enough to prevail and grab the men and separate them.
For Philadelphia, Jones, Bibby, Erving, Collins, and McGinnis. For Portland, Gilliam, Gross, Walton, Hollins, and Neal. McGinnis. Neal off to Gilliam. 4:40 left. Inside to Walton. Jump hook, and McGinnis. Off now to Bibby as Gross goes down again. Here's Collins. Great body control underneath.
Yes, he has tremendous body control.
27 points for number 20. A black eye and a handful of butterfly stitches. Lionel Hollins. Gross. In the lane. Piece of paper on the floor. One of the ball boys has got it. Neal with a miss and cleans up. Second chance for Portland. Third chance, and it was Neal coming up on Jones.
Let's watch Doug Collins on this play. He'll get a go. He's going baseline now. Watch his left hand. He goes in. He's up in the air. Look at this beautiful shot as he gets it up so softly. That's the trick in that situation, is to get the ball up to the basket softly. It has a chance to go in. People think those are lucky shots, but they really aren't.
Have you straightened that out on the scoring? They count as everything. Right, Dave? You straighten out the scoring? All right?
Well, Doug Collins can tell us after this game about Darryl Dawkins' strength. And I've been told by one of the ball boys that when Dawkins went back into the locker room, he took out anger and frustration on that locker room. There are a few busted lockers. Back now awaiting the rest of his teammates after this game. And out in Portland, Maurice Lucas will be back on Sunday for Game 3. As Al Bianchi would say, it has gotten juicy here in Game 2. Collins to Bibby. Wally Walker fronting the doctor. Bibby. Jones off to Hollins. Lost to Davis. 3:37 the time remaining. Hollins. McGinnis. Jones to Bibby. 99-77. Philadelphia has been in control all the way. Quickly to Wally Walker. Runs into Jones, who blocked him. Foul on Caldwell. Jones and Joe Bryant and Mike Dunleavy will check in for Philly. 4 fouls on Jones. Listen to the round of applause for the doctor and Doug Collins.
And rightfully so. They have been the two most important men in this drive of the Sixers to the championship playoff series. The two most consistent players on the team, with a lot of help from other people as well, Brent. But they deserve the hand. They have been sensational.
Jones waiting outside. Goes to Walker. Up over Bryant. 99-76. 20 and 3 minutes, and Game 3 in Portland on Sunday afternoon. 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. McGinnis came up on Neal. Doug Collins now. There is where he took the blow from Daryl Dawkins. He had stepped in between Gross and Dawkins. Comes away the game's high score with 27 points. Also led the game in stitches. I must say that we had more action out there for a time than Evangelista and Ali gave us for a few rounds the other night.
A lot more.
101-79 and 2:54. Neal maneuvers in, and Jones there, and the whistle blew as he began his assault. Foul is against Terry Furlow, the rookie, who has checked in.
The biggest problem confronting Jack Ramsey right now is to try to get his team to regain their composure. This is going to be his main, I think, objective coming into the game on Sunday. They just have not played well. Of course, going back to the home arena will be a big factor in their favor. Philadelphia right now has done what they set out to do, win those first 2 games at home, putting all of the pressure on the shoulder of the Blazers right now.
I want to be there to hear the greeting for Daryl Dawkins on Sunday afternoon.
Don't be an instigator, Brent.
No, but they will greet him.
He may get booed more than I do.
Here is Bryant. Walker there. Off come the Blazers. And McGinnis goes over to the side. He is fouled out. For McGinnis, a total of 12 points and 11 rebounds. An improvement over his first game performance of a couple of rebounds and 8 points. So perhaps the slump is over for Big Mac.
And the Portland Trailblazers are hoping not. They talked about shooting slumps, Brent. I'd like to point out, here's a fellow shooting free throws now, Larry Steele. Shot the ball exceptionally well during the regular season, especially against us, and he has been in a dismal slump shooting the ball in the playoffs. And that has hurt Portland, I believe. He is not able to hit that outside shot, forcing the forward to come up on him. They're able to drop back off of him and sag on Bill Walton. That has caused problems.
Harvey Ketchings, 42, just threw the ball in. He is the third center on the Philadelphia team, and he opened the year as the regular, and then he dislocated an elbow in a game in January in Denver. He has since come back from surgery. Knocked away from Dunleavy by Robin Jones. Neal off to Davis, and Zinkoff told you in the background. Just 2 minutes left. Steele misses again, Rick.
Well, you can see that Jack Ramsey's really been searching this game. He's got not very good performances for most of his players. Everybody played in that first half, and he's not played everybody in previous ball games when things were going right for him.
And again, the news will be coming your way right after this game ends as we move down toward the 1 minute mark. Philadelphia is going to go up by 2 when the series moves out to the West Coast and Portland for games on Sunday and also on Tuesday.
Dunleavy picks up an offensive foul there. Not a good move on his part. The defensive man had good position, and he just ran over him.
Rick, in NBA playoff history, 57 teams have taken a 2-0 lead in the best-of-7 series, and on only 3 occasions has the team trailing come back to win the World Championship. Furlow, he's a great shooter out of Michigan State. He hit 54 one night in a game against Iowa. Here is Walker off to steal.
The Philadelphia team has an abundance of great outside shooters.
Calhoun went to Robin Jones. Steele off to Davis. Ketchings greeted him and fouled him. inside of a minute. In the championship series back in 1969, the Boston Celtics came back to beat the Lakers. That was the last time that was accomplished in the title series. But Portland is working on a 15-game winning streak at home.
Of course, the big factor, the Sixers with the best record have got the home court advantage, and that's what it's all about. That's what you play the season for, and they've taken advantage of it right now. Portland's got tremendous pressure going home. They must win, too, to have a chance at all.
Furlow again maneuvered inside. Might be a showcase for that young man. If he can't play in Philly, I'm sure he'd like to play someplace. Furlow yanks it off with 34 seconds. Quickly to Catchings goes the pass, and Catchings traveled. It was a good pass.
Well, you said he was a shooter, but he showed me something there. It looks like he handles the ball pretty good. He made an excellent pass. There was only a small opening. We had a great angle on it. Got the ball to the open man. Looks like he tries to play a complete game.
Calhoun. Walton left the game having scored 17, Gross 10. Lucas kicked out with 14. Dawkins kicked out after scoring 8. Collins, the high man, 27. Erving, 20 today. McGinnis, 12, and Jones, 10. And game 2 is all but a record.
And this game has been nothing but Philadelphia. They played a sensational game. I thought I saw them play their best game on Sunday. They have surpassed that. If they continue to perform this way, Portland is really going to have their work cut out for them, as they do regardless whether they play this good or not.
It is over, and Mix scores it. It counts. And last shot by Steve Mix goes in. And the Philadelphia 70s.